Let me begin with Shamsul Alam Pantho because we need to know some other breaking news right this moment popping up in the international media, sir.
Thank you so much. A very good afternoon to our esteemed panelists and also our connections through Zoom. Very good afternoon to our viewers. Let me begin here. You mentioned the Israeli airstrike taking the lives of journalists in Gaza. Of course, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has already condemned this latest attack on the Nasser hospital, which is located in southern Gaza Strip. And of course, there is a rift between, a very recent rift between Australia and Iran. Australia on Tuesday, meaning today, has expelled the Iranian ambassador and suspended diplomatic operations in Tehran. And Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has also announced to designate Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. And of course, there is a breaking news from America. Donald Trump has announced Monday that he's had removed Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook from her position, citing allegations of mortgage fraud.
You see, Trump is playing his trump card. Putin is reluctant. Zelensky is looking for money and arms, military aid. What do you see the end of this negotiation process?
Thanks for your question. Let me just put onto the table here that Donald Trump initially wanted a bilateral meeting between Ukraine and Russia before he can initiate a trilateral meeting. Of course, this is just a screenplay to some extent for world leaders to understand what are the give and takes, where will the sacrifices be, and where will the how each side is going to benefit from coming to a dialogue. That is where the current issue stands. But as you mentioned, Donald Trump and his trump card, there is an issue I want to bring out for our Zoom guests. Of course, there's a feud going on between President Donald Trump and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Is of course related to having the National Guard being deployed first in D.C. and of course in Chicago.
I just want to quote one line from Khamenei, the supreme leader. He said, "Lion keeps itself silent even before go to the hunting." What is the meaning you find between these two lines? Because we see the generals are silent, Khamenei itself silent, President Masoud Pezeshkian is silent, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi is silent. How do you see what could be the next reaction from Iran?
Thank you so much. And of course, I was listening to General Shafat sir's answer, and of course, today they are known as Iranians, but before in history they are also known as the Persians, and they've never been under anyone's rule. And of course, giving them sanctions, imposing sanctions under them would only motivate them towards self-reliance, towards depending on each other. We know because of the coverage of the Iran war with Israel, it would be the first notion where Tel Aviv was attacked in Israel, and that simple example was set in the world stage by Iran. Of course, I've been to Tehran and I've seen that they are quite so advanced in their civilization. And not only so, the entire world was at a crossroads in not allowing Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon. I don't see what's the problem with them acquiring a nuclear weapon, especially as Pakistan and other nations, Muslim nations, are nuclear powered nations as well. So that was the basis, and that is how Israel had attacked Iran, and Iran also retaliated. And once again, the common problem was the United States.